Hey guys, and welcome back to Midnight Auto Repair. This is Josh, and today I'm going to bring you in on the 83 S10 that I alluded to you about. So the idea behind this is, so you've come across a truck in someone's garage, or it's been sitting in the back of the warehouse or something like that, and it was someone else's project. They picked it up 5-10 years ago, whatnot, and as we all know with good project cars, some tend to sit around a while and some never get completed by the guy who started them. So this is one of those scenarios. This S10 has been off the road since 1995, and in fact, when it was found buried 7 feet under junk. They actually didn't know the truck was there. They found the corner of the hood. They went to go grab the hood to move it, and they found out it was attached to something. Turns out it's our S10. But when they found it, he tried starting it. He said that oil went from the crankcase to the radiator, so probably has a bad head gasket just right off the bat. And it's an old Isuzu 1.9, and from what I understand in my research, they're known for that kind of thing. So what we're going to do with this particular project here is we're going to pick up on someone else's project. I'm kind of going to walk you through what to expect. The random stuff you find in the bed, or the stuff that has gone completely missing over the course of time. But stay tuned with me and I will bring you in on this. Alright guys, so what are we working on today? So we have this 1983 Chevy S10 that has been off the road since 1995, and in fact we have our good old PA inspection sticker that lets us know that. Now, it also has some notes on the windshield, which is very much appreciated, kind of letting you know where the gentleman was on this. In this case, it's Jim, so he's a pretty organized individual, but nonetheless, he inherited this thing 5 years ago and started on it. That's kind of where some of the primer came from, and he actually has the rally wheels, the 14-inch beauty rings on it, and he started on it, and then, like all good projects, it kind of took a backseat to another project, or having to help out family, or taking care of a family. I mean, we all live in the real world, and that fun project you started off with now becomes mothballed in the back, and you never really get to finish it. So he got a good jump on it, and it is an 83, so it does have the flat dash, the Isuzu 4-speed, the non-sweep gauges, and the Isuzu 1.9. And unfortunately, guys, this is going to be more of a common thing than not what you walk into anymore. You're going to walk into something that was started 5, 10, 15 years ago, and you're left trying to find the bolts, you're left trying to find where everything goes on this. And thankfully, this is a pretty basic little thing. And I know you guys are going to be looking at me and saying, Josh, just do what everybody else does. Put a 350 in it, call it a day. Well, guys, fuel's a little expensive right now. And honestly, it's just a nice little shop truck. It doesn't have to go fast. I got plenty of other stuff for that. I just want a good, solid, reliable truck there. And, well, that's what we're going to do. So we're actually going to fix the existing engine and driveline and kind of see how it goes. Because I'm not just going to jump right to throwing a 350 in it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not opposed to it. But, you know, gas being almost $4 a gallon where I'm at here, and the fact that it's not going to get driven in the wintertime, it's just going to be a fun little pickup truck. So, and the thing is too, it's an 83, it's got the 1.9 in it still. It's got to be one of the few left that still have the original engine. You guys can drop a comment in the comment section, let me know if you have one or have seen one. But we'll get into this, and we will, I guess, get this thing moved out and get to work on it. I do have the gasket kit. I do have a timing set for it because I understand that's another failure point on these. And just all the regular maintenance and service items. I did remember my crystal ball so I can try to figure out where all the bolts go. So stay tuned. Let's see if we can make this work or not. All right, guys, we got her out of the corner. I'm going to walk you around some of the finer points of how this vehicle is, because it is a very solid truck. And, I mean, for the most part, still got most of its original equipment, which I found out the rally wheels were an addition. He said that when he had picked it up, it still had the original steel wheels with the dog dish hubcaps, and he had a set of rallies laying around. I like the look of the 14-inch rally. I really think it is a good looking wheel, especially with the beauty rings, because it just brings that look right home. Now, we went through, took a bunch of the stuff out of the bed that may have belonged to other stuff here, or was just a lot of excessive S10 equipment, because when he found this truck, he had also found quite a bit of other S10 parts. So, I mean, I have quite a few body panels, taillights, various stuff to draw from, and came with a extra distributor. Here's the original valve cover, fuel filter, what bolts I found that he has taken off, a couple extra radiator hoses, and new cylinder head, which I'm using the term new cylinder head because it came with a nice little note. So I'm guessing this was a swap meet cylinder head. And it said recently redone, which recently redone probably means about 25 years ago, because that's honestly the last time this truck was on the road was 1995, and you know, it needs some love. It's not absolutely perfect. We did get this door open. We did find that the rocker over on this side has been reskinned, and that it needs the corners there. I was told that this is actually Bondo, but he had finished it off and made it look smooth. Which, I mean, it looks really good, but I will take that and lop it out, and we will put a new rocker in there. Also, I think this thing is going to get a color change because this gold is not speaking to me. It is a nice color back in its day, but I'm a sucker for a nice blue color, and I do have the option of like black door panels, and there's other stuff, although I guess we kind of see where it goes, because I don't know, maybe the interior will work for me, maybe not. But here's the business end of this. It is an Isuzu 1.9 carbureted. Let me close this door here. And as you can see, he has started disassembly on this. You know, we've got a exhaust manifold that's kind of, you know, just on there loosely. Thermostats on the intake, and if you look and see, there's definitely oil floating around in the cooling system, which probably a strong indication that it's got a blown head gasket. But there's really nothing to these. I mean, back in the day, this was probably one of those ones people cussed and swore at because, you know, trying to get to the bolts on the intake are kind of tight, and it's got a EGR crossover tube that goes around the back of it, and a few other things that were probably a little bit of a pain. But this is still relatively early emissions, so they're trying to make equipment work. Like, I'll be amazed if that smog pump actually still spins, like it's going to stay on there. You know, distributor cap, wires, coil, just basic equipment. So I'm going to start digging into this, and we're going to see if we can't get the cylinder head off today, because this is probably going to be a multi-day video for me, but you guys are going to get to enjoy watching it in one sitting. At least getting the motor fixed, getting the head gasket on it, getting everything back together and running. Once it's running, we can kind of go from there and take it for a spin, but we will also start handling the rest of this, and we're going to make this look like a classy little truck. Because for an S10, it's an 83. Yet again, this is a second year S10, so this is a northern state. This is a Rust Belt state. The fact that this truck exists like this, and even under here, it's still the original bedside and wheel arch and lip hidden underneath here. It's not Bondo, it's not redone in any way. So it is a really solid truck. So we're going to continue on this. Also, if you guys are still watching, I wanted to put it out there. I just went and looked at another one of the vehicles that he has that has not ran in about 27 years. He parked it about the mid-90s, and we're going to grab that from its resting place right now, and we're going to bring it over here. As you guys can see, we got the 53 up in the air, and we're going to start addressing some of the inner rockers, the exhaust, a few other bits and pieces. We're still waiting on carb kit for the Stromberg that's in it, but we do have brakes working, engine runs, it does move, the Dynaflow does work, and it does shift, so it does, you know, exactly what it's supposed to. But stick with me on this one, and we're going to start getting the cylinder head off. So hang with me, we'll be back. All right guys, so we've returned. We've or should I say I've been working on the S10, it's just me here today, and I've been trying to get all of this apart. You'll see that I got the air pump out of the way and all the bullshit emissions equipment, because, well, this vehicle's almost 40 years old. Emissions equipment really has more or less a 10-year lifespan. So after 10 years, a lot of manufacturers start discontinuing a lot of equipment for it. So that usually says its usable lifespan is 10 years. And not to mention, late 70s, early 80s, emissions equipment was just marginally better than not having it at all. And now that it's in an age where it will be considered a classic vehicle and it doesn't require it anymore, I am not going to retain it, because it's not worth the trouble that I'm going to go through to keep it functional when it doesn't really do much of anything other than cause more issues for the engine. So we are going to simplify this along the way and just pare it down to the essentials of what makes it operate. And I will say that this has been a pain in the keister in more than a couple ways, but it is what it is. I wanted to just show you kind of where I'm at. I'm still undressing the front cover here so I can get cylinder head off, get the timing cover off, change out the timing, the gear set, because like I said, I've done some research on this and I understand that that's actually a weak point on this particular vehicle. So we are going to replace the timing set. We're obviously going to do the head gasket. I've been trying to find replacement head studs. These aren't torque to yield, so if I have to reuse them, I can. That's not a big issue. But still, obviously, if given the option, I would have liked to replace them. I don't understand why they had to use 10mm Torx, but to each their own. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of give you an update of where we're at. I had to pull the radiator out, and I've got fan shrouds, radiator. By the way, guys, when he said this thing was filling the cooling system full of oil, that is not an oil change. That is actually the coolant I drained out of this thing. If you can see the green showing through all the oil. We have the fan, we have the pile of emissions equipment that will not return. We're just trucking along. My goal is today to at least get the front end of this thing and get the head off of it, get the front end undressed. And then tomorrow I will come back in after I get out of work and I will start reassembling it. But at least I will know where I have left off. I pulled the distributor. It's on #1 top dead center. It's been a fight. But I wanted to bring you guys in and show you that. Hey guys, so it's been a few hours. I've got the cylinder head off. And I'm trying to get that timing cover off, but it appears that the oil pump is actually, the drive gear is holding the cover on. I can't see a way to undo it without dropping the oil pan, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all. If I have to pull this motor out to drop the oil pan off of it, yeah, it may not go back in. It may. I have another small block Chevy at my disposal, so you know, sometimes you reach a point where certain things make sense, certain things don't. I'm actually impressed. This engine's got like 80 horsepower. That starter has to have 20 of it. That thing is massive. But yeah, I'm gonna call that for the moment, and we are going to see what's going on. So guys, I'm gonna close this as part 1 of the S10 engine repair, as we're gonna call it. And we're gonna come back and see on part 2 what I decide, because I'm this far in, and yet again, I do have a small block Chevy at my disposal, so this truck very well may get that motor. Well, you know what? It's a good time to subscribe and maybe keep an eye on things and see what I end up doing. So this is Josh from Midnight Auto saying, have a wonderful day. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. See you later.